All right, guys, we'll continue on into chapter 3 now. Find the measure of angle 1. Here we've got a pair of vertical angles. Vertical angles are directly across from each other. They are always congruent. So the measure of angle 1 is 58 degrees. Here we've got a linear pair. They are adjacent and supplementary. So angle 1 plus 124 equals 180. So minus 124, the measure of angle 1 is 56 degrees. Okay, first we'll do corresponding angles. Angles in a similar position. Angle 1 is top left up here. Angle 5 is top left here. So corresponding angles, angle 1 and angle 5. We'll name as many as we can. Angles 4 and 8 are both bottom left. Angle 4 and angle 8. Top right are 2 and 6. Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding. And bottom right are 3 and 7. Angle 3 and angle 7. Alternate interior angles. The fact that they are interior means they have to be between these two lines. So 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the interior angles. Alternate interiors would be 3 and 5. Opposite sides of the transversal. Angle 3 and angle 5 are alternate interiors. And angles 4 and 6 are alternate interior angles. Same side interior angles, those are also called consecutive interior angles. Also have to be inside and on the same side of the transversal, angles 4 and 5. And angles 3 and 6. Alternate exterior angles. So now we're talking about angles that are outside of these two figures, so these two lines. So 1, 2, 8, and 7 are the exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles would be angles 1 and 7, outside the lines and on opposite sides of the transversal. And then angles 2 and 8. And then the last type of angle pair are vertical angles. Vertical angles are across from each other, like 1 and 3, 2 and 4, and then angles 5 and 7, and 6 and 8. Find the value of x. When lines are parallel, which these arrows tell me they are, alternate exterior angles are congruent. So x is 47. When lines are parallel, alternate interior angles are congruent. So x plus 10 is equal to 50. So minus 10, x equals 40. When lines are parallel, consecutive or same side interior angles are supplementary. X plus 30 equals 180. Subtract 30 on both sides. X is 150. And when lines are parallel, alternate exterior angles are congruent. So 2x plus 22 equals 70. 70 minus 22 is 48. And 48 divided by 2 is 24. Find the value of x that makes A parallel to B. If lines A and B are going to be parallel, they're not even labeled. We'll label that line A and line B. If lines A and B are going to be parallel, then alternate interior angles must be congruent. So x plus 12 must equal 120. And 120 minus 12 is 108. So the lines are parallel when x equals 108. Okay, are these two lines parallel, perpendicular, or neither? In order to find out, we need to find the slope. So the slope of line 1 is y minus y, 6 minus 5, over x minus x, 4 minus negative 2. Y minus y, x minus x. So that is 3 over 6, which is 1/2. Clearly that's a mistake. 6 minus 5 is not 3, 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay, so the slope of line 1 is 1/6. The slope of line 2, y minus y, is 4 minus 16, and x minus x is negative 7 minus negative 9. 4 minus 16 is negative 12. Negative 7 minus negative 9 is the same as negative 7 plus 9, and that is 2. Both are divisible by 2. 2 goes into negative 12 negative 6 times, and into 2 1 time. If these two slopes are exactly the same, then the lines are parallel. If these two slopes have the opposite sign, and they are reciprocals of each other, so one's positive, one's negative, and the fractions are flipped, they are opposite reciprocals, then the lines are parallel. We're looking at opposite reciprocal slopes here, so these lines are perpendicular. I think I may just have said parallel when I pointed there, but because they are opposite reciprocals, the lines are perpendicular. If they were exactly the same slope, they would be parallel, and if they weren't the same or opposite reciprocals, they would be neither. Write the equation of a line with this slope and this y-intercept. We're going to write it in y equals mx plus b, slope-intercept form. M is the slope, so that's y equals negative 4x. B is the y-intercept, plus 2. Another equation of a line that passes through this point and has a slope of 2. We're going to start in point slope form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So this point is my x1, y1. The slope is m. So y minus y1 is 4 equals m, which is 2, times x minus x1, which is 2. Distribute the 2. Y minus 4 equals 2x minus 4. And then add this 4. Y equals 2x plus 0. Or, I don't really need to write plus 0. Y equals 2x. Either one of these would be just fine. Okay, we've got another line to write an equation of. We need the slope and a point. There's a few different ways we could do this, but we're going to practice this same way. And to find the slope, y minus y would be 4 minus negative 2. Okay, so that's a y value right there. That's a y value, 4 minus negative 2. Here are my x's, negative 4 and 0. Negative 4 minus 0. Notice I went the same direction both times. 4 minus negative 2, negative 4 minus 0. That is 6 over negative 4. 4 minus negative 2 is the same as 4 plus 2. Negative 4 minus 0 is negative 4. So I have a slope of negative, and 2 goes into 6 and 4 3 times and 2 times. My slope is negative 3 over 2. Okay, I would rather use this point right here as my x1, y1, 0, negative 2. It really doesn't matter which one I pick, that's just the one I'm picking. So y minus, y1 is negative 2, equals m, negative 3 over 2, times x minus x1, and x1 is 0. So I'll distribute that negative 3 halves. Y minus negative 2 is the same as y plus 2. Negative 3 halves times x is negative 3 halves x. Negative 3 halves times negative 0 is 0. And then I have to subtract 2. Y equals negative 3 halves x minus 2. The measure of angle 1, if I've got a right angle here, then my vertical angle is also a right angle. So I know these two angles have to add up to 90 degrees. So the measure of angle 1 plus 49 is 90 degrees. Minus 49, so the measure of angle 1 is 41 degrees. Find the value of x if A is perpendicular to B. So if lines A and B are perpendicular, I've got a right angle right here. So these two angles have to add up to 90. So x plus 7 plus 16 equals 90. I've got common or like terms here. The like terms 7 and 16 add up to 23. And 90 minus 23 is 67. And then name two lines that are parallel in this figure. My clue is these angles. I've got a pair of corresponding angles that have the same measure. They're both top right angles. They have the same measure. That means B is my transversal. C and D are the parallel lines. Line C is parallel to line D. And that is all for chapter 3.